Do you need an all-in-one solution for working with table and spreadsheet data in Confluence?
Then you came to the right place. Table filter charts and spreadsheets for Confluence is more than just a table filter macro. And you'll see why. In this video, we'll share 3 ways to combine our apps macros,
Which we actually have 12 of, by the way.
and potential use case scenarios for each and every one of them. Without further ado, let's start with the first macros combination. You're a sales operations manager who tracks deals across multiple regions. Your sales reps maintain their pipeline data in a shared Google Sheet that is updated daily. But your leadership team needs weekly reports in Confluence where all the company's dashboards live. Manually downloading the sheet, reformatting it, and creating pivot summaries every week takes hours. How do you pull live data from Google Sheet directly into Confluence and instantly generate pivot tables without touching a single spreadsheet?
I have prepared a very simple sales sheet as an example for this video. And let's have a look how to transfer that to a Confluence page and make it into a Confluence table. So we have a Google Sheet right here and we navigate to File. Then we click on Share and Publish to Web. So from here, you can either share an entire document or choose a specific sheet you want to share. But the thing is that you have to choose comma separated values. Then we copy the link and go to a Confluence page. It's already in an edit mode. So I just type in table from CSV macro, which is our apps macro, and it helps you to actually embed a Google spreadsheet to a Confluence page. So from here, we choose the URL and paste the URL we just copied. Then we click on preview and click on insert. Now, if we want to add a pivot table to that Confluence table we just made, and for that, we need to use the table toolbox macro. So this is our macro, and this macro was made specifically to allow it to combine our apps macros. So I choose the pivot table right away and click on insert. Then I just copy the table from CSV macro and embed it into the table toolbox box. And a small thing I like to do is click on the centered button and go full width. This just makes working with data easier because you don't have to scroll up. If you add a pivot table macro, by default, the source content is usually hidden. So we just click on show source content and then save changes. Now your source content will always be visible. Let's pretend that we want to know how the markup percentage influences the profit per item sold. So for raw labels, I will choose the markup percentage. Column is product name. Calculated column is profit per item. And then version type is sum. Then I click on this cell here for changing it into a descending order for markup percentage. And now we can see a clear picture, clear overview that we can also show to our managers. The only thing that needs to be done is to again save changes. And if you don't want your managers to see the source table, we just hide it. And that's it. Now you can use your Confluence as a single source of truth for your managers.
You're an HR manager maintaining one master employee table in Confluence with everyone's data, locations, departments, roles, and hiring dates. The audit team needs a compliance report page with headcount analysis pivoted by department and location. Every stakeholder needs a detailed report regarding different data. So each report page needs a separate pivot analysis from the same employee data. But maintaining separate copies would mean updating multiple tables every time someone joins or leaves. How do you maintain one master employee table, pull it into multiple report pages, and create different pivot analysis for every page, all without duplicating your source data?
So again, an easy example for you, I have created a master employee table that consists of only 7 employees, but still, let's move on with that. So let me first of all embed that inside the table excerpt macro. It's pretty similar to the one that is native of Confluence. I mean the excerpt macro. Now let's name it master employee table. Okay, all should be good. We update that page. Now here I created a child page to the parent page of that master table, and let's use the table excerpt include macro now. So I'll type in master employee table. Choose the specific page, which is master employee table as well. And let's preview that. Great. So we click on insert. And now if we want to divide that master employee table into smaller tables for every specific department, let's first of all filter that huge table. In order to use multiple of our macros, we have to use the table toolbox macro you already know. And here I add the table filter macro right away and insert that. Now we copy the table excerpt include and paste that inside the table toolbox macro. Now everything should already be organized, but I click on table toolbox editing button and I want to have my filters in header and I click on save. So now I filter everything by the software development department because this is the page for this exact department here, and I save changes. So every time I'm opening that page, all I would see is the huge table filtered down by the software development department. Now we go back to the edit mode of the page in order to add a pivot table to that. So I click on table toolbox again, and now I add pivot table, and inside that I embed everything else we had here before and click on update. Now, as we already know, the source content is hidden, so I show it and save changes. Let's have a look where our software developers are located. So we filter that by name. Then columns are locations and operation type is count. We save that, and now we can see who is located where, how many employees each location has, and so on and so off. But you can again pivot it as you like. Because everything is saved now, if I reload the page, we can see that everything stayed as it was before.
You are a product manager in a team of 2 other product managers, and your main task now is to run some customer development interviews. For every interview, each of you created a separate new Confluence page. Now your manager asks you to conclude your work, including the number of interviews each of you conducted and the industries involved. The question is how to gather all of that information on one page without spending another week on that task.
So this is an example of a page that has been created after conducting an interview. The main part here is this table that shows the main information regarding the interview. And if we scroll down, then we can see that we have added labels, and that's important in order to get all of such pages together using the native macros from Confluence. Here I have created a new Confluence page that will act as a source of aggregated information from all the other pages. And first of all, we will use a native Confluence macro that is content properties report. Before it was called page properties report. And as you can see, it already aggregates some data because it's based on what tables there are in the current space we're on. But I want to be specific and gather all pages from all the different spaces. And if I click on more option, I also like to manage which columns to show and what's the order of these columns. So I just copy it here and click save. Now, as you can see, the data has been brushed and it looks very nice and neat. So what we do next, in order to make it into a full-on report, we add our table toolbox. And there we kind of do some wizardry and add different macros, embed them one inside each other, like a Russian doll, as I said. So first goes the table filter, pivot table. We put table filter inside pivot table. Okay. And then we also add chart from table to visualize the information better. Okay, that's done. Then we click on insert and copy paste the content properties report inside table toolbox and click on update. Okay, and this is what we see. Now we have to first of all show source content, Then we have to build the pivot table. So let's start with how many interviews each of the interviewers conducted, count. And we can also see the pie chart right above. What else we can do is under the column labels, we can add the industry, for example, and we can see for which industries each interviewer has conducted an interview. And then we can change it the other way. So under the role labels, we put the industry. Here we put the interviewers. And now we can see from the pie chart companies from which industries took part in those interviews and which industry took part the most. So that's pretty much it. Every controller can be hidden as well as the source content. So that can be really brushed to look nice and neat again for the managers.
That's it for today, although we have plenty more such combinations. So let us know in the comments if you want another video. I hope that these use case examples showed you that the table filter charts and spreadsheets for Confluence app is more than just a table filtration. Thanks for watching this video. And if you want to know more about table filter charts and spreadsheets for Confluence or any other Stilt Soft apps, subscribe to our channel.
Bye.